By delivering targeted learning programs to the extended enterprise, companies have been able to accelerate product and service launches, lower overall support costs, increase customer retention and satisfaction, and develop partners with deep product knowledge. Let's take a look at some of the options that are available to you when setting up your preferences. Billing information lets administrators configure the settings for the secondary address that are available for all payment types. In the secondary address name field, enter a display name for the secondary address. You can include a company name, a phone number field, and opt to make them active and required. If you're charging for training, payment methods define how training will be paid for. There are two sets of options for configuring the user payment preferences: cost allocation and payment preferences. Cost allocation determines the amount of the training cost charged to a cost center versus what the user pays. If someone from your extended enterprise needs to pay a percentage of the training, by default, the payment options are credit and request bill. Users can also use training units and coupons to purchase training, but to enable these options, you'll need to contact the Cornerstone customer care team. If the user pays percentage is greater than 0% and the credit card option is the only option selected, when the user accesses the payment page, they'll see the credit card information fields and can complete a credit card transaction. Enabling credit card transactions happens outside the system, so you'll need to contact your account manager or implementation consultant to do this. Credit card processing fees also apply to credit card transactions. You may require that the user pays these fees, or you may pay these fees as a client. If you want to allow users to store their credit card information in the system, it will be stored under My Account and can be changed at any time. Only the last 4 digits of a user's credit card number is stored on the Cornerstone portal. All other credit card data is stored and secured by CyberSource, the organization that provides the gateway to use credit cards in Cornerstone. If you don't want the system to store this information, leave the Allow Users to Store Credit Card Information on My Account Billing Profile page box unchecked. You can also allow users to enter a secondary address for the payment during the checkout process, which you can set to required or optional. If you have sales tax integration enabled, you can choose to use the secondary address for tax calculation. If you don't want a user to pay for training that is pushed out to them through the Learning Assignment tool, you can check the option to bypass user payment. If you enable credit card processing, the workflow and process would be: number 1, the user requests a learning object with a price and opts to pay by credit card. 2, the user enters in credit card information. 3, the information is passed to CyberSource for processing. 4, the transaction is verified. 5, if successful, the total amount of credit card transactions are deposited into a Cornerstone merchant account. 6, CSOD performs a monthly reconciliation and collects processing fees. And 7, the net amount will be paid to the client at the end of the month. You can set up a merchant account, including multiple merchant accounts for different currency, directly with CyberSource, letting you be reimbursed for transactions immediately and billed for processing fees directly from CyberSource. When a credit card transaction fails, the purchase cannot be completed in Cornerstone unless another payment method is used. Therefore, there's no transaction record within Cornerstone. If you've enabled shopping cart functionality, users can request multiple learning objects and pay for them in one transaction. When setting up the shopping cart, it's best to define all your business processes ahead of time. For example, discounts, coupon code policies, what can be paid for using training units and what can't, what's taxed and what isn't, cancellation policies, etc. that will help you in the long run. If the Request Bill option is checked, the user will be able to request a bill for the training. By selecting this option for payment and placing the order, the user will receive the training on their transcript as though they've already purchased it. The charge is sent to the cost center called User Pays. You can run a billing report or reconcile purchase orders through the Manage Transactions page to determine who to send the bill to. If only the Request Bill option is checked, the user doesn't have different payment options and will always be sent a bill for training that they've requested. If you select both the credit card and Request Bill options, the user can either choose to be sent a bill or pay upfront with a credit card. The Request Bill field has 3 options: Send Bill, Invoice, or Purchase Order By. A minimum purchase for users to be allowed to use the Send Bill option can be set by checking the minimum purchase box and entering a value. You can also enable a reference number or purchase order field for users to fill out before completing the checkout process and make this field required or optional. Again, you can allow users to enter a secondary address for the payment during the checkout process. If pending payment status is enabled, users are placed in pending payment status when they check out using the Send Bill option. The users can't access the training until payment is received and processed by the administrator. On the transcript, the item appears with a pending payment status until the administrator updates the payment as received. Once payment is received, the user is allowed to register for the item, which then allows access to the learning. Checking the All box will place all users in the selected OU in pending payment status until their order is reconciled. You can also select specific users to be placed in pending payment status. In addition, you can enable the options for e-check or wire transfer payments, and these options will be available in the payment method drop-down list during the checkout process. Coupons and training units can also be selected as payment methods if enabled. When a user purchases a course, there will be a field for the user to enter a coupon code. Once the user enters the code and the system verifies it, they'll receive a percentage or number amount off the total price. The user can pay the rest of the price with either the Send Bill or credit card options if available. Coupons can't be used with training unit purchases. You can limit the number of coupons per transaction if needed by checking the Specify the Number of Coupons box. If one or more custom payment types have been configured for your portal, these options will display under Payment Options, and the administrator can select these as part of payment preferences. If you have a sales tax integration enabled for your portal, you can set tax preferences for learning objects using the Taxes link within Shopping Cart and Billing Preferences. Select which learning objects you want to make taxable by clicking the corresponding checkbox. To set a tax calculator, click the blue plus sign in the Tax Calculator section. Populate the requested fields with the necessary information, including the company ID, tax calculator account ID, and tax calculator account password. Before saving, specify whether the status of finalized invoices sent to the tax calculator will be posted or pending. The Purchase by Proxy functionality lets you purchase learning objects on behalf of a user using all types of payment methods. However, the shopping cart must be enabled to utilize this functionality. Once a user contacts you to register for a specific training, you'll click the Proceed to Checkout option and purchase the learning. If enabled, you can also apply coupon codes. In addition, you can modify the cost of each training item directly from the shopping cart page or refund a user's purchase. For reporting purposes, items purchased by proxy appear as though if they were purchased by the user and are listed on the user's order history page.